Star Trek Discovery is back for Season 3. Hey guys, Chastity and Greg here, and we're breaking down the season premiere.
Now, before we do that, of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't seen this episode yet, get out of here, go watch it, and come on back, because there's major spoilers ahead. Alright, let's do this.
Alright, let's jump into this episode and into the future. So we're in the year 3188, and first we get this kind of showcase of future tech and what life is like then. So we've got this guy, and he is waking up and kind of doing the same thing over and over. He has something to do with Starfleet, and we're not sure yet at the beginning of the episode, but he has a case with a Starfleet insignia. He's got this realistic bird hologram clock, and a bed and a desk that appear and dematerialize, which is cool, and also this simplified hygiene process while standing in place. I wish that washing up in the morning was this easy. So this man, as we learn later, is Mr. Sahil, and he's searching for signals of some kind.
Now from there, we meet Cleveland Booker, aka Book, in a Han Solo-like adventure right from the jump. He's got some cargo, and he's trying to get away from another ship that's attacking him. Quick battle ensues between the two, but they're stopped immediately with that wormhole that's opened up from Disco. And the first one to come through it, of course, is Michael Burnham. She knocks his ship, boom, right on top. She hits his ship, and both of them go crashing down to this new planet.
So Michael successfully made it 930 years into the future, and she celebrates.
Multiple life signs detected.
So if there's life, that means they were able to get the sphere data safely away from control and change the future. And then the wormhole starts closing, so Michael initiates the final signal upon closure and self-destruct sequence for the suit.
Now Michael's all by herself out there. She can't find anyone from Discovery just yet, and she has this moment where she just says, walk. Now, that's a direct callback to the series premiere of Star Trek Discovery when she's with Giorgio, and she just says, walk.
Let's take a walk.
New beginnings here with this new season of Star Trek as we go off on a new journey now. They're starting over here. We got everything from now in the past TOS. Now we're going off into something else entirely different. More Andromeda. Star Trek Andromeda.
So then Michael walks towards Book's crashed ship, and she's lost. She doesn't know where she is. She needs help. They engage in a fight right away because he thinks that she's like attacked him.
Of course.
Yes, of course. But then they talk it out, and he tells her that they're on the planet Hima. But she begs him for help because she doesn't know where she is or what she's doing.
Yeah, she thinks it's Terra Elysium. It doesn't look like she may have even landed on Terra Elysium. At the moment, we just know this planet is Hima. Also spot that there's cloaking technology on that ship, and it just seems so natural, and right from the beginning of the episode we get that, just to, to let everyone know, the audience know, that yes, the Federation's probably not around here if it's so easy for someone to be using it like this.
Alright, so after Michael crashed into Book's ship, he needs more dilithium. He needed some anyway, but he's saying, I need dilithium. But they need to go to the mercantile, and so Michael offers to sell her gear, which are now antiques in this time.
Now, again, dilithium is another thing they brought up early. This seems to be a rare export now in the future, as we're going to find out later in the episode, too.
You have a very large cat.
Yes. She has a thyroid condition.
Alright, and then we go back to Book's ship and we learn a little bit more about him, including the fact that he's got a big ol' cat named Grudge, star of the show. Grudge the cat. Book is a courier, and he took it upon himself to steal and repatriate his cargo. He's taking it back to its home.
Now, at this point, we get an info dump about the Federation. Book, he has to become a teacher to Burnham right now at this moment, where he tells her, yes, the Federation is indeed gone or disbanded at this point.
Can't handle that it's gone.
The Federation is gone.
Now, the Federation collapsed because of something called the burn, where we find out that all the dilithium exploded, which runs every warp-capable Federation ship and almost in a lot of other ships in the universe. So with that said, that's like as if every energy plant on the world, on the planet here, just went up in smoke. So it's not good.
Yeah,
but with that said, again,
awful.
Dilithium, of all things, it's dilithium that's causing these issues. Unless Stamets is like, we're out of dilithium, I have a feeling that Disco ship is going to be under attack a lot from space pirates.
Yeah, so the burn was 100 to 120 years ago, according to Book, and this was the day that dilithium exploded. Like you said, a lot of people died, and the thing that to take away from it is that the Federation couldn't say what happened or why. And then after a while, they just weren't around anymore. That's huge. Like, this happened, no one could explain it, and then they just ceased to exist. That is crazy to me.
From there, Book takes Burnham to Requiem, which is like this, I guess, a little Blade Runner. Not too much. There's not big sweeps here. It seems a little bit of that, and they're trying to do the Wild West kind of vibe with Blade Runner here. Or
Yeah,
it's like
lots of holograms everywhere, massive cityscape. It's cool, though. And then Burnham is able to get into the Mercantile despite some trouble with an Andorian thanks to her antiques. So Book promises to take her to the communications hub so she can try to reach her ship. So what we learn is that the Orions pay the couriers just enough dilithium that it takes to pick up and make deliveries of items sold at this mercantile. So Michael gives Book her tricorder to sell, but he has also trapped her into walking into the vault and getting arrested.
He's Solo. He's Han Solo. He's Lando right here. And
he's both.
Again, he's both of them. I'm getting very Mandalorian vibes here from just this scene alone.
When I get out of this, I am coming for you.
You and everybody else.
Not from there, the two men that are running the Requiem, and Andorian and Orion, they spray Burnham with a truth serum, truth drug, which we've seen many times in the past in Star Trek, including the TOS episode that involved a fake Andorian that they had to use the truth serum to in the past. It did not work, but that said, it seems like it could be a little bit of a nod to that.
You're a spy, surgically altered to pass as an Andorian, planted in the ambassador's party to use terror and murder to disrupt us. And prepare for this attack.
Speculation, Captain.
Meanwhile, Book is captured immediately by the guy that was chasing him earlier, Cosmo, after trying to sell the old tech.
Yeah, so then Cosmo threatens to feed Grudge to an entire planet. So what's up with this cat? Like, is this cat actually, like, massive or has some kind of ability? Like, I'm thinking about... I'm thinking about, like, Captain Marvel and how the cat's not really a cat. Like, what's going on here with the cat?
She's a queen.
Then when Burnham and Book are brought back together, they team up, and then they make a run for it, and then they get into a shootout. In the middle of the shootout, Burnham grabs all the dilithium crystals, and Book transports them outside using his portable transporter.
Now, these future transporters, they need at least 30 seconds before they can start up again.
But it makes for an interesting chase.
Okay, you're about to be really mad!
Now, throughout the entire scrum, Book manages to do one more transport underwater so they can't track them for the time being. And this is where we get a moment where Book, we learn he's not just a normal humanoid here. It looks like he has special abilities.
But he summoned a plant by praying?
He can talk to animals. He can summon plants. And from this plant in particular, it's able to heal. It has healing properties to help out Burnham.
Then Book gives Burnham his subspace scanner that he's had this whole time to look for her ship, but Burnham has no luck with the scanner. And we also learned that all time travel tech was destroyed in something called the Temporal Wars.
Temporal Wars, yes, then the Temporal Cold Wars, which we saw explained in Enterprise. I think he's harkening back to the Enterprise days with the Temporal Wars.
When time travel was first developed, it wasn't long before people realized that laws had to be made. All the species who had the technology agreed that it would only be used for research.
But it wasn't. That's what the Temporal Cold War is all about.
And then from there, we learned that the code to the ship is sticky. It's okay.
What kind of code is that? Because that's the damn code, all right? Pick your own code on your own shit.
This turns out to be a trap to unleash the stolen cargo on all of them. He tells Burnham to close her eyes. It turns out this transform can just hypnotize people and then strike.
A little bit of I thought for a second it was going to go an Indiana Jones vibe here. Don't look. But it just turns out this thing can hypnotize you, and it takes everyone out one by one.
Including Burnham, who the transform swallows up before Book can tell it's like, nope, don't do that, and spit out.
Talks to it. He's able to talk to it again. Yeah.
He's
again,
talking to animals. He's the Dr.
like
Dolittle of this future age.
We get some more info about Book here. We find out about his family, that they are a bunch of, he calls them killers. They were poachers, and he is not welcome back home because of his abilities, it seems. He might not just want to use them to help them at the same time. I'm assuming that he doesn't want to use his pet gifts to help out, poaching, from what we learned from what he's doing here, and he's trying to save these creatures as he's bringing that transworm to Sanctuary 4.
Yeah, I'd imagine that with his family, they probably wanted to use his abilities for their means and purposes in poaching, but he probably has a very bad relationship with them. So they arrive at Sanctuary 4 and release the transworm for breeding season. And from there, Book agrees to help Michael find the Discovery crew and takes her to a courier waypoint that used to be a Federation relay station. And there is where we meet the Federation liaison, Mr. Sahil, again, after we saw him in the intro. And then we learn there's only 2 Federation ships in a 600 light-year radius, and he can't really detect anything beyond that.
I'm clocking it now. I wonder what's going to happen with these long-range scanners with Discovery and how important that's going to be when it comes to, the spore drive. I'm curious to see how they're going to adapt this technology to this new future.
So then they figure because they can't see Discovery, maybe it just hasn't arrived yet. And so that means it could arrive tomorrow, or it could arrive like in 1,000 years, which is bad news for Burnham.
Now, of course, in the trailers, we know that it's going to show up,
yes.
and then she'll find them. But it seems like some time is going to pass before she finally meets up with her crew again. So we learn that Sahil is not an official commissioned officer. He was never sworn in, so he was hoping that one day someone would walk through that door and finally it happened. So he's got tears in his eyes. Dream come true.
It's really
Burnham's
sweet.
here. Yep, she helps him out. She soars him in, and he reveals what's in that box that we saw earlier in the episode. It's a United Federation's flag. There's only six planets now, so that's not good. Let's just make it blunt here. That's not good for whatever happened here.
And that's where the episode ends, and now we are just wondering about the crew. No scenes with the Discovery in the first episode. I'm really worried about them, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Alright, now on to things we noticed and Easter eggs. First, the Starfleet insignia on Mr. Sahil's case resembles the 2390s insignia seen in Star Trek Picard.
Book asked Burnham to whip up a dilithium recrystallizer. This technology was invented by Queen Poe back in Season 2 when she helped the Discovery recharge the Time Crystal. 900 years into the future, it is clearly used widely.
Next, when Book scolds Michael for ripping holes in space, he says,
Wasn't bad enough for you the Gorn destroyed 2 light years worth of subspace?
Wait, the Gorn did what?
The Gorn are a humanoid reptilian species that first appeared in the original series episode Arena, best known for this memorable fight between Captain Kirk and an unnamed Gorn.
Another of Book's tech references is to tachyon solar sails. In the DS9 episode Explorers, tachyons are used to power an ancient solar sailing ship to warp speed. In the episode, Book comments that Burnham's Rocket Girl outfit had tritanium alloy, and there hasn't been anything like that in years. In Star Trek, tritanium alloy is a widely used construction material. 24th century Federation starships had tritanium bulkheads. Also, Borg tactical drones possessed a tritanium infrastructure, as did Borg cubes.
Book and the others are in need of dilithium. Dilithium is an element mainly in mineral form. Michael says,
Dilithium is the heart of every warp-capable ship.
It's used to control the power of the warp drive systems of many starships. Dilithium was a rare and valuable substance found only on a few planets in the galaxy. The demands for it led to excessive mining and damage to those planets. As you may recall from Discovery, Stamets hoped the spore drive would provide a viable and renewable alternative to dilithium.
Burnham is giddy to find the communications array on Book's ship. Not only does this signify to her that the future isn't totally knocked back to the Dark Ages, it's a sign that she should be able to find her lost Disco crew. Now, these amplifiers were first developed by the NX-01 Enterprise way back in 2151 to allow better communications with Earth. Also, Book name drops Benamite when referring to his warp-capable ship. Benamite was the extremely rare crystal that the USS Voyager used to construct a quantum slipstream drive in the Voyager episode Timeless.
Michael is surprised that the Andorians and the Orions are working together. The Andorians come from the icy moon of Andoria. Their homeworld was a founding member of the United Federation of Planets. They are known for their blue skin, white or silver hair, and antennae. They first appeared in the original series episode Journey to Babel and were used as recurring characters on Star Trek Enterprise. The Orions come from planet Orion and are known for their green skin. They first appeared in the initial pilot for the original series, The Cage. The most recent notable Orion is Ensign Devon Attendi on Star Trek Lower Decks. All right, Greg, let's talk about it. What did you think of the premiere?
I'm excited to see where we're going here in this new show. It's a new show now.
Yes.
It's not the same. It's over. We left all that
Completely
behind.
different. Yeah, it was a very focused first episode on basically just 2 characters the entire time, which
Yeah.
I was surprised by, because usually they'll just show everyone. I thought that they were going to do like A plot, B plot with Burnham and Discovery in the season premiere, but that's not what we got. We got a fully focused Burnham episode, which is interesting in terms of pacing, but it really set the stage for the future and the world that she's on, and makes you worry about the disco crew and when they're actually going to show up. But I enjoyed it.
I think it's smart.
Yeah. But I really
me too.
missed the disco crew, but it was so different, and like I'm one of these people that's just so reluctant to change that I was like, this is too different. I really like Disco season 2, and I just rewatched it before I watched season 3, and I was like, this is too different. But like I do like it. I do like it, but I'm glad that Picard happened between season 2 and season 3, because it helped me to wrap my brain around the future tech and the change in the Federation, and because the mental jump from season 2 to season 3 in terms of the Federation and just the status of what they have to deal with is a lot. So I'm glad I had Picard as kind of like a, hold on, we're easing into the future here, before we got to season 3.
I like the fact that we're probably just going to get an episode where it's just the disco crew, where we
Yeah.
can, again, we're
Finally.
reintroduced to these characters here, so I think they're going to give everyone a moment.
I've been wanting that. I've been wanting plot development for the bridge crew. I want to learn more about everyone on the bridge, and I want them to have their time to shine. Because there were episodes like last season, like Ariam had like the one episode, and it was such a powerful episode, but it made me feel like, man, I wish you had more character development before this. I wish we had more moments with you before this. But now it's time. Now it's time for these characters to shine.
You are going to figure out what caused the burn and help to rebuild the Federation.
We all will.
Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown, because we're breaking down every episode this season.
Let us know what you thought of the season premiere in the comment section down below, and we'll be back here next week. Bye-bye.